tenant moving out is extremely pissed off at me, and this is why. So I have a tenant, and I actually really, really like them. They're fantastic people. However, they decided they were going to buy a house, which I am extremely helpful. If I can see a tenant go from being a tenant to a homeowner, that is one of the best things ever. That's fantastic, and I have no problem with that, and I'm very happy for him. But here's the problem: they didn't refer to their lease agreement to when their lease ends. Now, in this specific instant, the lease is a fixed term lease, meaning it has a start date and an end date. So they're it's very clear, fixed term. So they actually have like 6 months left in their lease. Now they're ending early. They want to end next month. So they think that all they have to do is give 30 days notice. Now, in Alberta, under the Residential Tenancy Act, it clearly states on a fixed term lease, no notice is required. Now, it's an extreme dick move by both landlords and tenants not to give some form of notice. So we try as much as we can to give, if we're not going to extend a lease, that 30, 60, and even up to 90 days, especially in this tight market where a tenant can go out and find a new property. And likewise, we expect or ask that the tenant give us notice. We can't expect anything, but we do ask them that they give us a little bit of notice. But the true reality is under the act, no notice is required. So the problem is, back to my whole rant here, is not so much that the notice requirements is that their lease doesn't end. Like, they can give me notice, but that doesn't mean anything. The fact is they still have a lease in place. So what's my duty now as a landlord? They are going to end their lease early, and I technically can hold them responsible for that lease until the end of the lease ends. Or, and this is where the catch is, or I find a new tenant for them to take over their lease. That's the easiest thing to do. We're in a busy market. In most cases, I can get a property rented in 30 to 45 days, and there's a whole philosophy and thing behind that, but 30 to 45 days, I should be able to get somebody into your property. Once I get it re-rented, then you're off the hook. So if you're going to break your lease early, give your notice to the landlord as soon as possible that you're going to do so that they can find somebody else to take your lease. Once somebody's taken your lease, you're off the hook. Now, some landlords will charge a re-rental fee. It can be $100, $200. I've seen as high as 1 full month's rent. It has to be something reasonable. There is, again, under the act, there's nothing that states what that fee is, but all landlords should be reasonable by that as well, so that they can, just be fair with each other. Tenants, you are responsible. So if a landlord charges you a break fee for your lease, that's why. Okay, so that's why my tenant was pissed off at me. If you need help as a landlord or a tenant, feel free to reach out to me. I'm Jody with Home Time.